Hey YouTube, welcome back to Axis and Allies, the Garrison. This is Detroit coming to you from the bunker here in Rochelle Park, New Jersey, with another episode of the YouTube Wars. This is, once again, Axis and Allies, the Garrison, and I am your host, Detroit. Alright guys, so it is episode 6.2. It is Russia's turn. Russia's under the command of VK Cowboy. But however, before I go any further into Russia's turn, I would like to first make a few announcements. Okay, I know quite a few of you have asked me about when it is I'm going to conduct the lottery or the draw for the prize giveaway, where I'm giving away 3 German Panther tanks, 2 Tiger tanks, and 1 German battleship that I have customized and that I'm going to be giving away to the lucky. It is round 6. Russia now is, I believe, getting ready to start going on the offense. But as I said before, Dutch Lancaster will not make it easy. He's very savvy, very well equipped to be able to handle the Russian offense that will come in the future. Guys, enjoy this episode, and as always, let me know what your thoughts and are involving the strategies and tactics that we are using. All right, so let's go ahead over and review what the Russian purchases were that VK Cowboy made for the Red Army. Okay, so in this turn, it is turn 6.2, Russia's turn. The Russian army spent a total of 33 IPCs with the purchase of 4 Joseph Stalin's heavy tanks. That's 4 heavy armor and 3. All right, so let's go ahead with the 4 battles that VK Cowboy declared for the Soviet Union. And they are as follows. First battle is for the battle for the Ukraine. Second battle will be for Bryansk. Third battle will be for Eastern Poland. And last but not least, the battle for Poland itself. All right, so a total of 4 battles that were declared. Let's go ahead then with the actual combat movements. In Rostov, you have 1 armored division moving west towards the Ukraine, along with 1 infantry. You have 1 German infantry division defending. Okay, the battle for Bryansk, you have a total of 3 German artillery divisions, along with 1 mechanized infantry. All right, you'll have 1 Russian infantry moving north, coming in from Rostov, from Moscow, from Russia itself. You have 1 armored division, 1 artillery, and 1 infantry joining that attack against the German occupiers in Bryansk. All right, battle for Eastern Poland. This battle, you'll have 2 Russian infantry divisions moving south, coming from the Baltic states. All right, you will also have 1 Russian fighter squadron coming from Leningrad at a movement of 2. That's going to be 1 and 2. This fighter squadron will have 3 movements left in its fuel gauge because there is an air base in Leningrad. Hence, 3 movements left in its fuel gauge. All right, I'm forgetting to make one combat movement for the Battle of Bryansk. In Baltic states, you have 1 Russian T-34 moving at a movement of 1 and 2, and will be joining that attack for the battle for Bryansk as well. I was forgetting that movement. All right, and last but not least, you also have the Russians who are moving into Poland itself. All right, you have 1 Italian infantry division defending. You have 2 Russian infantry divisions coming in from Baltic states. They will, excuse me, get some air cover. Okay, you have 1 Russian fighter squadron coming in at a movement of 2. That's going to be 1 and 2. This fighter squadron will also, in its fuel gauge, have 3 movements left in its fuel gauge. All right, so those are the 4 battles that Cowboy will be declaring against the German Third Reich. Now let's keep in mind that that Poland itself, okay, is a national objective for the Russians. Okay, from this point onwards, they will get 3 points for every originally controlled German territory or Axis-controlled territory that the Russians take. All right, so this is a key economic point or territory for the Russians to. All right, so let's see what the results of combat were for this Russian counteroffensive that Cowboy has launched against the Germans. All right, the battle for Eastern Poland. All right, the Italian infantry division was destroyed. It did not successfully return fire. No Russian casualties for Poland itself. Now, for the Battle of Eastern Poland, the German infantry division was destroyed. However, the German infantry division was able to successfully return fire. We will remove one Russian infantry division from Eastern Poland. All right, the battle for the Ukraine. All right, so another successful battle for the Red Army. The German infantry division defending was destroyed, but on its return fire, it did take out the one Russian infantry division that was attacking as well. Now, for the Battle of Bryansk, a massive victory for the Red Army. All 4 of the German defending divisions were taken out. The Russians sustained only one loss on the German return fire. So casualty of only 1 is a great victory for the Russian army for the Battle of Bryansk. All right, so let's go ahead with the non-combat movements that VK Cowboy made for the Red Army. Let's first of all land the aircraft that participated in the attacks in Eastern Poland and Poland. Both aircraft have 3 movements left in the fuel gauges. You have 1 fighter squadron in Eastern Poland at a movement of 1, and 2 will return back to Leningrad, right? Then you have the other fighter squadron that attacked or supported the attack in Poland itself at a movement of 2, 1, actually 3, and 4 returns also as well back to Leningrad. All right, so that's what we have currently in Leningrad. Okay, you have 1 infantry division coming in from the Baltic states, and it'll move east into Leningrad and reinforce the forces that are currently there. All right. You also have 1 infantry Russian coming from Belarus into Leningrad. You have an additional infantry in Moscow that will be railroaded at a movement of 1, 2, and 3 and will reinforce Leningrad. Okay, and I believe that's it for the non-combat movements on the Eastern Front. But let's go over to the Pacific or Siberian Front, where you have 8 Russian infantry moving into J-Hole along with their 2 AAAs. And you have quite an array of forces here in J-Hole where the Allies, Chinese forces, along with the Russians and the combined American Air Forces are in J-Hole. Okay. Also, let's move 1 additional movement. This 1 Russian infantry will move south and will occupy Shantung. Okay, so you have just 1 Russian infantry division currently in the Chinese province of Shantung. All right, so let's go ahead then with the income tracker. You have a total of, 2. Okay, value of 2 IPC taken from the Germans, 2. And you have 3 Eastern Poland. You have 1, that's 4 in Bryansk. Okay, and an additional 2 Ukraine. Actually, let me take these German markers. Okay, so that's a total of, let me do the math again. 2, 3, 4, and 6. So a total of Russia was able to regain this turn a total of 6 IPCs that will be accrued to its income tracker. All right, so that means then with its national objectives included, the Russians will be collecting a total of 50 IPCs that they will be carrying over to round 7. Okay, and we are quickly approaching the end of this conflict, and things are definitely getting very, very interesting. All right, so let's go ahead then with the purchases with the placement of units that the Russians made. We're going to take 3 armors. These 3 armored units will be placed in Leningrad. There you go. We'll also take 3 ground infantry divisions will be placed in Moscow, and 1 armored division will be placed in Moscow itself. All right, so definitely interesting situation that the Russians have going on for themselves here. As you can see, by the most part, the Germans have lost the initiative here. The initiative is now, in my opinion, with the Red Army, who is definitely now poised to go on the offensive. Okay, I'm predicting that these territories, Western Ukraine, Bessarabia, and potentially maybe even those territories on the eastern frontier, actually the eastern frontier of the German Third Reich are in danger of collapsing. But we shall see how Dutch Lancaster responds to the ever increasing counterattacks and counteroffensives that we know are sure to come from the Red Army. Okay, and also let's not forget that the Russians are also looking pretty solid on the Chinese front. But of course, I know that the Axis, they're very much a threat right now, and they're just not going to roll over. Right. Okay, guys, this is the end of episode 6.2 for the YouTube Wars. It is now Japan's turn. It is my turn, Detroit, to make my moves with the Empire of the Rising Sun. Okay, sit tight, and I hope you enjoy that episode as well. Guys, as I always like to say, don't forget to bunker down and play.